Welcome to Barnstable Today. I'm Nick Cortez. We're continuing our coverage of the Town Council's vote last Thursday to buy out the contract of Town Manager John Klim. Last Friday, we showed you reaction from concerned residents during a public comment period before the 6-5 vote in favor of the buyout was cast. Today, we'll take a look at remarks made by councilors on both sides of the vote, beginning first with some strong words of support for the manager and condemnation for those who voted for the buyout. Here's Councilor Tom Rugo, followed by Town Council President Fred Chirigotis.
Since I began serving with Mr. Klim 4, 6, 7, 8 years ago, I've heard no basis for removal articulated by the town manager's opponents. I've not heard any councilor articulate or offer one scintilla of criticism of the town manager's past or present performance. If you ask me what is wrong with the town manager's performance, I would tell you nothing. On the contrary, he's doing an excellent job. In fact, 6 months ago, 12 out of 13 councilors extended his contract another 5 years. The town is on a roll. Look at the community center, the schools. No override requests. We even have lifeguards. The town is shining right now. My wife asked me today if she heard on the radio what was right, and I said, what? And she said that the council was paying nearly $250,000 to the town manager so he would leave. I said, it is possible. And she said, why? She said, how much? I said, $250,000. And she said, why? I said, no reason, no cause. That's in the contract. She said, who's paying? I said, me and you and all the other taxpayers in the town. Then she got upset. She got mad. She asked the same 3 questions again. How much? $250,000. Why? No reason. Who pays? Me and you and the other taxpayers. People are very concerned about their money and where their money is being spent and how their money is being spent. This is outrageous. Any golden parachute given to John Klim by councilors this evening should become their poison pill.
The reality of it is not a single person up here can tell you how much this is going to cost. The reality of it is the numbers are far greater than $230,000 because you have to take into consideration that we're going to have to replace that town manager. And when you've created such a toxic environment for an individual to work, you're going to have to pay somebody a whole lot of money to step up here and take this position. If you're going to take over the New England Patriots from Bill Belichick, and that's what we are the model of a town and a town government. Standard & Poor's just gave this town another AAA bond rating. Their words were that the AAA bond rating reflects Barnstable's strong financial position and fiscal management. The town has a long-range capital infrastructure plan and statewide model of consolidated finance and human resource functions to increase accountability and cost savings. The town of Barnstable is in great fiscal and financial position. To immediately cut the legs out of the town manager for no reason is to ask somebody else to step into that position in a winning position, to take over the New England Patriots and come in and do a little bit better than a Super Bowl winner. I don't see it happening. You're going to ask somebody to step up to this council. Do they know each and every one of you, each and every one of the individuals that they deal with on a daily basis on the downtown or in the villages? Do they know all those people here in town? And can they perform to the same level that we've seen over the last 10 years? And do you dare? Because if you don't perform and come through with a AAA with better than that, and I don't know where that comes from, every year, well, you're in jeopardy. For what? Mean, petty behavior. Let's talk about our role here and our job. First of all, open government. I hear about it all the time. Clarity. I hear about transparency. If each and every one of you is satisfied that we've gone through a real, transparent process, then I'm okay. If each one of you can point over the last 10 years to a single issue, a single article in any media, or a single conversation that you've heard that rises to the level of removing the town manager or just so we can play the same semantics, we're not terminating the town manager. We're offering him a contract that ends a little bit short of the full contract that he has right now. That's semantics. If you can point to one thing, you show it to me, and we can at least have the debate of whether it's right or wrong. But there hasn't been a single thing. You're not going to find it.
Of the 6 who voted in favor of the town manager's restructured contract, Councillor John Norman was the only one who attempted to offer any kind of an explanation for the deal, which would continue to pay Klim's salary and health insurance through March of 2013, despite ending his day-to-day responsibilities on September 30th of this year. According to Norman, asking taxpayers to foot the $250,000 tab for the buyout is no big deal.
People who stood up and asked some specific questions, I'd like to maybe try and address some of those specific questions from my perspective, obviously. People are throwing around the issue of, you know, the money. Where are we going to get the money? A year and a half buyout represents a year and a half of the town budget. Town budget for this year is roughly $160 million. So if you take half of that, it's $80 million. You have a $240 million budget for a year and a half's worth. If the numbers that are being thrown around are fairly accurate, let's say it's $240,000 for the buyout for the year and a half, that represents 0.001% of the budget. Now, we got rid of, or did not refill, our recreation director's position when he retired. What was done was that his job was parceled out to different people who now take that position because of the rules that we adopted from the state on early retirement. The position has some different technicalities, but this is not something that has been lightly thought of, and it has not something, for me personally, to be something where I have no contingency plan and I have no idea and we're just going to wake up one day and say, well, gee, who's going to run the town? You know, General Patton didn't kick Rommel out of Africa all by himself. He got a lot of the credit for it, but he had a lot of good officers under him. He had a lot of good men under him who do a very good job. The town manager has assembled an excellent staff of department heads who do a great job, many of them, and put in many, many long hours attending town council meetings, attending workshops, attending committee meetings, and doing a great job. There are department heads who are very qualified and would make tremendous additions if the manager chooses to accept this contract amendment, to step into the role of temporary manager while we go through the process of vetting out and finding a new manager, if that's where it goes. Some of the accusations being made that somehow we're following through on this or we're brushing this through in secrecy and like that, a lot of the discussions are personnel matters. So they're not open to the public by law, not by choice. Now, many of the people in my precinct have spoken to me about the manager's position. And I say to them, you know, the candle that burns twice as bright burns half as long. And there have been many, many great ideas and many great things that this manager has done. And I will never take that away from him. But when you're a figurehead, when you're at the top, you get an inordinate amount of credit and you get an inordinate amount of blame. And I see someone who, quite frankly, looks tired. Tired of the process, tired of the attacks, tired of the newspapers and blogs savaging him and his name. A name that I would say is highly respected in this town. And his dad, too. This is not a personal attack. I stated in different meetings, and I'll state it again. I believe it's time for a change.
Whether you agree or disagree with the council's decision regarding the town manager's contract, you'll have an opportunity to voice your opinion during public comment at the next town council meeting, which takes place on July 14th. As for this week's meetings, let's take a look at the calendar. Well, that's all for now. I'm Nick Cortez, and we'll see you next time on Barnstable Today.